Sebastian to the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
And Judah.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Jay.
It's great to be chatting to you. I love your album. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's your debut, and it's getting released soon.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
How anxious are you then waiting for its release unto the world?
Yes, we're very anxious about this album release. It's been a long time coming, and we don't know what people are going to make of it. But so far from the reviews we've had, everything's been really, really positive, like overly so. And I swear we've not bribed anyone because we have no money to bribe people to give us good reviews. But we've had 6 reviews now, and every single one's been pure stellar. So we can't thank the reviewers enough for that.
6 reviews is fantastic, isn't it?
As for the release of the album, as I say, yeah, it's unreal.
Well, 6 reviews is fantastic. I mean, it's very difficult, I guess, for bands these days where there's so many bands out there. And to be sort of like, with your album, it catches your eye, the album cover, and you look at the album cover and you just like listen to the music and it's like, fuck, yeah, that's brilliant. I love it so much. I'm so impressed with it, honestly, guys. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Can you then tell me which is your favourite track on the album? I know they'll all be your babies.
I think this is probably a matter of probably all of our own favorites, to be honest with you. I mean, my favorite to play is possibly a tie between Still Feel Is Blind and Silencio, but in terms of my favorite to listen to, I probably prefer things like Trial and Error or New Beginnings. Stuff that's a little more kind of impactful and stuff like that. That being said, though, we've got such, I mean, it's difficult to really pick a favorite because they're all fun and they're all ways. So yeah, it's much like you say, they're kind of like our babies, really, and it's hard to pick a favorite.
I can tell you're in air because it keeps cutting out, but we'll carry on. It's all good. Is this cool? How about you then, Jordan?
Probably Trial and Error. It's a fun song to play, good one to listen to. Awesome.
Cool. Jay?
Me, this is going to be a tough one. There's so many good songs on the album. The one I don't like is Silencio because that's the one that landed as a record deal back in 2022. But I just can't stand it. It's an amazing song and stuff, but it's just one of those ones that we've done it so often to try and get it correct when we're recording it the first time around, and then trying to record it the second time around. I think I just sick of myself with it. But as for favourites, I would probably say Still Feel Is Blind to perform live is fantastic. 2Am's really good to perform live and do vocals for, but I think Trial and Error is probably my current favourite because just the whole bombasticness of the full track, everyone's firing on all cylinders, drums, guitars, bass, everything is just pumping in it, and it's just so good and it's so impactful and it always gets a good response when we're playing live, and it had to be the album opener.
Brilliant. So, sort of, you are sort of a new band then, and I mean, how is your following, and is it easy to sort of get the attention you rightly deserve?
No, in short, it's the type of metal music that we play is not really in vogue in the UK, and especially not in Scotland and in our local scene. So we kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But, on the other hand, though, I kind of feel that that's kind of to our advantage in a lot of ways because there isn't that oversaturation of bands that sound like us. Certainly not locally and dare I say nationally. There's just not an awful lot that sounds the same way that we do. So on that hand, it's kind of a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, we stick out, but on the other hand, it sometimes makes people a little more, I guess, reluctant to book us because we're maybe not quite what the local scene's looking for.
Right, but it's always cool to be unique. It's always good to do something a little bit different, yeah. And honestly, I get sent through shitloads of albums every day, every week. Sorry, every day, every week. And yours just stuck out. I don't know, something about it. And I was just listening to this. It's like, fuck yeah. Listening to it down the gym. It's a gym album. Get rid of the pants. It is. It's really cool. I think you got the full package there. Have you been approached by like major labels?
We're actually currently signed to a label. They're a bit dodgy, shall we say, when we signed with them. We were actually offered a far better deal from Artgate Records, who are like one of the, if not the biggest metal label in Spain.
Okay.
We were offered our label off the back of the demo for Silencio, not even the final recorded product, the demo of Silencio. They wanted to take us on and give us a full-blown album deal back in 2022. But due to the band members at the time, a lot of people didn't want to commit to it because they didn't think they were ready to make that big a step. So we went for the next best thing. On paper, the deal with Slipknot looked amazing. I don't want to speak ill about them, but as time went on, a lot of things started coming out, and the report, shall we say, about them not fulfilling promises, not fulfilling CD quotas, and all that stuff. So, but I'm still in contact with Artgate Records. And we were offered another couple of deals. We were offered a deal by the now defunct Planet K Records based in Italy. There was Artgate Records in Spain. There was Slipknot Records as well. So that's 3 European labels, all wanting a piece of us back then. But our deal with Slipknot expires in May.
Okay.
So hopefully, if there's been a good reception to the album, we might start looking elsewhere to see if somebody else would be interested in taking us on.
You never know, man. Absolutely, because the album's stellar and it's good production. Everything's there. The work's there. The album cover is amazing as well. I love the album cover. In fact,
That's great to hear.
Anything purple, I love purple, and I love skulls. Yeah, and that's amazing. And it would make not only a fantastic vinyl album, it would make a fantastic tattoo. And I see, Juro, you've not got any tattoos. Maybe you should have the tattoo, the skull.
No, I think I might. Yeah, no, I'm ink free actually. One of the, it's not through lack of trying, just never really, could never really think of a good idea to put on. So for the most part, so it's probably why.
It'll trick people into listening to it with a good album cover. It's like buying a book.
On release day, do you plan to do some sort of live stream or anything like that?
We don't actually have anywhere near a following enough to do a live stream. As Jura said previously, we have zero interest in the local scene. Like literally none. We have to bite and claw to get every slot we're offered. Okay. Even then, it's like thin in the ground. Every show we've played has been self-financed and self-booked. But the thing that really gets me is we can't get on local shows. But the past 6 months, we've played alongside 4 internationally signed bands that we've contacted directly, who've asked us to support them on their shows. Wow. But the local scene won't touch us. And we don't know why. As far as I'm aware, we've not made any enemies over the years. But it's a bit of a gripe and it's a touchy subject because I don't understand why. We're told we're not a draw. One of the main promoters says, "Oh, you're not a draw, so I'm not going to book you." It's like, well, we can't get the gigs to become a draw, so give us a chance. But it's one of these things. The interest is all European, even over in America, we've had interest. Through various PR campaigns we've done and whatnot, and a lot of the following is European based, so that's pretty much our target audience, shall we say.
Europe is something that is something we'd really like to do. It's just obviously post Brexit, post COVID, all of this sort of stuff. It makes it kind of quite prohibitive, even just getting over to the continent. So it's something that is something of a logistical challenge for us, but it's difficult for us to conquer the UK first before going over to Europe because we don't really have the ability to do that. So, in order for us to actually play directly to our kind of target audience, really, it's prohibitively expensive and logistically quite challenging as well.
Yeah.
Because, outside of the band, we all kind of have, family lives and things like that we have to try and juggle everything around. So it always presents a bit of a logistical challenge. But, it's certainly something that I think we've all got our sights set on. So I'm sure it will happen sooner or later.
Of course it will. And I mean, honestly, hopefully with my help and with other people's help, you will get there with that, honestly. So have you done like things like Bloodstock, Metal for the Masses, competitions, things like that? Have you done that yet? Anything like that?
No, we've not done any of that because all we really see it as is a battle of the bands. It's a numbers game. We don't have the following, so there's no way we get through to the next kind of stages. It doesn't matter that we're internationally signed. It doesn't matter that we've been contacted by other labels internationally. But the local scene, as I say, just have no interest. So we've sort of thought to ourselves, maybe we'll go to Metal to the Masses one bit down the line. But then I think about it. 2 weeks ago, applied directly to Bloodstock rather than going through the Metal to the Masses because the organisers booked for the kind of New Blood stage out with Metal to the Masses. So I'm thinking all these bands are going to Metal to the Masses. Two of our good friends actually passed or made it through the finals and stuff. And Nassau were the Scottish finalists for last year, who we've played with a few times. And also We Make Mammoths were quarter finalists. But again, these bands all go through at the finals. And don't do anything with it. They go through, they play Bloodstock, and then they might get a couple of gigs down in England from it, but that's the last you see.
Then they disappear and split up.
10 years. They disappear, or they're still playing the local scenes. And I don't understand. I'm thinking, why go through a battle of the bands if you can apply directly at the festival? Which is my ethos. It might be a bit egotistical, but
not really. That's right.
That's
right. It's the right attitude. It's the right attitude, man. Absolutely. I mean, I'm 54, man. You know, I've been into metal since I was like 11 or 12 years old. And when it was like, fucking hell, Motley Crue, Megadeth were first coming out, Metallica. And I've seen a lot of changes and that. Worked for a big magazine back in the day. The metal world has changed. Music, the world has changed, obviously. But when a band like yourselves come along, you think, fuck, yeah, you've got like the potential to be out there. And there is so many bands that go by the wayside. And it's disappointing and hard. But you've got something there, absolutely. Can you remember the first time you sort of like got into metal and what made you want to be a metal musician?
Oof, that's a tough one. I guess, I mean, for me, I kind of got into metal kind of at the sort of when new metal kind of exploded onto the scene. So it was kind of sort of early 2000s, late 90s that I really started getting the bug for it. And, you know, it's actually why one of the shows that we're playing means quite a bit to me, the Chester Bennington tribute show that we're going to be playing at some point this year. I think I can speak for a lot of my generation and would say that Linkin Park were a very big gateway band into other, you know, heavier metal bands. And so it was really just round about that, coupled with the fact that I've got kind of a sort of family background in music and stuff like that, that really gave me the bug. I don't know about everyone else, but that was me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Like early 2000s, like new metal, and then that just kind of paved the way to like listen to Metallica and some older stuff, and then just kind of develop like more of a taste for loads of different types of metal over the years and things. So yeah.
Jay,
with me, I'm trying to think. I wasn't necessarily into metal at first. I think my whole musical thing came from being at an aunt's house one night. It was like the adults were kind of playing cards or something, and I was doing the kind of the hi-fi room with your big like Ken Wood's like multi-layer hi-fi thing, and the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack was there, and I seen the image of it and thought that was really cool. So I was maybe like 8 or 9. I put that on and was immediately hooked with kind of the whole kind of grandiosity of the whole soundtrack vibe and stuff. And then as I got older, I think the first band I got into alternative wise was Placebo, which was shortly followed by Deftones, and then Korn, and then after that, obviously Linkin Park were coming out. But it wasn't until further down the line I started listening to heavier things. It was around 2003 when I started listening to Arch Enemy, and then that opened my eyes to a whole different kind of gateway. All your kind of death metal and black metal and stuff, and then Arch Enemy went to Cradle of Filth, and then Cradle of Filth then went to My Dying Bride, and a whole other stuff in between. I went through a big, massive industrial metal phase. I previously played in an industrial metal band who were actually doing good things, offered a couple of deals, but alcohol, drugs, other members and stuff. I wasn't partaking in the drugs, but another one of the members was, and we just imploded. It was pretty brutal. So yeah, I think main thing that made me want to play metal music was probably Deftones here and that riff for Bored.
Brilliant.
Off Adrenaline. That was it. Just first one I learned the guitar, simple chug chug chug, and then I was like, yeah, I want to do this, and that was that. The rest, as they say, is history.
Awesome. So talking about Arch Enemy, then sort of leads on to my next question. Who would be your ultimate band to go on tour with? I'm guessing Arch Enemy, maybe.
No, not anymore. Not since I joined the band. It's now kind of Arch Alyssa, the Alyssa show enemy. I've seen them a couple of times at Angela Gossold. They were amazing. I've seen them a couple of times at Alyssa, and they're just not the same band. I think.
I love Alyssa.
They're just not the same band. Even kind of, I mean, they had Jeff Lewis on guitar, and they'd done nothing for them. And now he's not in the band anymore because he wasn't allowed to write for them because it was the Alyssa and Mike Lammett show. It's like, oh, come on. But ideal band for touring would be Sabaton, I think, because they're just so much fun and so epic, and it would just be a laugh from start of tour to the end of tour. Even on stage, I've seen them with Apocalyptica a couple of years ago, and the banter between the bands and all the behind the scenes stuff. They're just an amazing band, and it'd be so much fun.
Okay. What about Ian Jira?
I'll let somebody else speak now. I've spoken
All right. You're worse than me.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Sabaton's a great choice, actually, just because of the energy and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest with you, half the bands that I would want to tour with aren't bands anymore, so it's kind of kind of a little bit difficult to say. I mean, I'm probably a bit more into sort of prog metal than a lot of the rest of the guys, so for me, I'd quite like to tour with bands like, say, Caligula's Horse or Leprous or whatever, but problem with that is that they're kind of not in the same sort of style as we are, so it seems unlikely, but just what it is, what it is what it is, I suppose.
Okay. Jordan?
Yeah, I have no idea, really. Don't know, I'm kind of the same way, like the bands that I listen to or like to tour with, like, aren't really any like bands anymore. I suppose you could say Pantera, I suppose.
Yeah, well,
They're back together again, but again, it's different audience. So yeah, different audience, I suppose. Wouldn't really dig us, maybe.
So why the name Misophonia? I said it right. Misophonia.
MisophoniA, yes.
Misophonia.
But yeah, Misophonia was the name of an EP that my previous band, along with Christina, our bassist, who's also my wife, were in before, and they'd done an EP that was called Misophonia. And then that band imploded, but the name kind of still rang out because of the meaning behind the name. It's like fear of sound, hating sounds, certain sounds triggering certain emotions and stuff. And at that point, I was hating all the music I was writing. I was getting really angry with it. But I just kept on trying to write, and I get more and more angry with it.
Yeah.
So I think Misophonia stuck with us because of that. And even with our sound, it's quite disjointed and stuff. It all comes together amazingly. But again, we want the music to kind of start emotions, kind of be kind of happy, be it sad, be it depressed, be it kind of insane, be it mental. And that's essentially what Misophonia means. But it actually works for us. And unfortunately, there was another band called Misophonia who are now defunct. They've been defunct since 2017. We do get confused with them. Sometimes they're kind of one of your kind of modern, kind of genty type band. It's kind of been annoying because a couple of the recent PR posts we've had on album kind of launch stuff, they've had the flair for the other band Misophonia underneath kind of our feature. So it's like, come on, like, do your homework. Like, that's not us. And all the stuff we sent to the label, we're under Misophonia UK. So
yeah,
you type that in, you get us. You type in Misophonia, you get us and the other Misophonia. But it works, even with misophonia, because it is a medical condition. We actually get contacted by kind of misophonia sufferers, sort of saying it's such a good band name because it's bringing awareness and all that stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We were actually featured on a podcast that was about misophonia and kind of the symptoms and how to survive it and stuff. And they used one of our songs, like, oh, there's a band called Misophonia, here's one of their songs, and they contacted me and said, oh, can we play one of your songs on a podcast? I was like, yeah,
that's really,
on you go for it.
That's really interesting, man. Yeah. If there's a made-up song, then a made-up metal song about yourself, what would it be called?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something humorous, and I can't really think of anything. I don't think MD would actually write a song about us. Just ignore it. Like, the band don't exist, so why would there be a song? Why would there be a song about it? So enjoy the silence.
That's like anti-misophonia, isn't it? Enjoying the silence.
Enjoying the silence, pretty much. So yeah, I know it's a song already, but if there's a made-up song, it'd be don't bother, just enjoy the silence.
Love it. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What about you, Jordan? Same?
I'll go with that answer. I don't think I could top that one, to be honest. And I can't think of anything. That's a tough question.
That's an awesome question.
Jura?
Oh, I don't know. For me personally, if you were to describe me in a metal song, it'd probably be something like "Anxious Disaster." But I'll go with "Enjoy the
That's
Silence"
a
too.
good fucking title, man. Anxious Disaster. And I've got to ask you, actually, Jura, are you named after the island of Jura? Obviously.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Although
Okay.
my personal favorite answer to that is I'll say, oh no, it's short for Jurassic Park.
I know it's an island. So have you been to Jura? Though? It's supposed to be fucking amazing.
So you're liking the drums and T-Rex hands?
I actually, believe it or not, I haven't. I'm rather fond of the whiskey, though. I'll tell you that.
I'll second that. Jura whiskey is very, very nice.
Fair comment. All right. That's somewhere I've always wanted to go. Actually, I've been like to Arran and all around like Jura, but not to Jura. And again, like the whiskey is supposed to be canning. Okay, so next question then. Can you give us 4 words to describe your new album?
Heavy, awesome. You can pick 2 other words.
I'm kind of tempted to go pain in the ass, but by the same token,
just take out the spaces.
All right, we'll do that.
But yeah, no, it was
Symphony of Awesomeness. Misophonic Symphony of Awesomeness.
There we go. We'll go with that one. That's way better than mine.
Sweet. So, can you tell us why we should check out your album then?
I guess it's a little. I don't know. It's just because it's a little different. It's maybe not something that is, commonplace in this day and age, and because we're not your average garden variety metal band.
All right. So, what's the plans for the year then? I mean, I know you're saying like about the support and everything, but are you hoping to get out on a tour and get out down to England, get to Belgium, guys? They'll be amazing in Belgium. They'd be just loved.
With regards to a tour, we have kind of spoke about it. We are actually signed to a kind of touring management company. We've been with them for about a year, but nothing's really kind of came of it. Pure Power Dark Side Management, who were meant to be getting us gigs down south. We were meant to be organising a tour with one of their bands, which are now no longer on kind of the roster. But we have spoken to one of the local bands that we're quite friendly with, an amazing band called Oceans on Fire. They're kind of a metalcore band from Stirling, trying to get something organised with work, life, kids, and whatnot. But a tour is on the horizon at some point. But we think we're just looking to the gigs we've got coming up. The Once a Lake support slot, who are a melodic Melodeath band from Norway, who are pretty big again in Europe. They actually played one of their kind of Slipknot festival things, one of the Not Fest festivals when they
What are they called?
Once Awake is the name of the band.
Once Awake, okay.
Once Awake. They are absolutely fantastic. And our sound fits them perfectly.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that show myself.
So that's going to be awesome. Then after that show, we've got our first gig up in Dundee for a new monthly metal night they're launching. A couple of bands I've not played with before. Can't remember their names. And then we've got the Chester Bennington Memorial Show.
So on that note, I want to know, what is your favourite Linkin Park song?
Linkin Park song, they were the band that kind of got a lot of people into metal. I've only not really listened to much past the first 2 albums, but Numb is probably my favourite song. Linkin Park, I just sort of meant a lot to us back then because depression, teenage angst, and all the rest of it. I just felt numb to a lot of things. So that song really kind of hit home to me.
Right.
So yeah, I'd go with Numb or Crawling. Again, that was another one that was kind of important to me during hard time during my teenage years. So yeah, Numb or Crawling.
Oh, that's a tune, yeah.
Anything off a Hybrid Theory, I think.
I want to thank you so much for your time, and I want to thank you so much for your album. I think it's absolutely stellar, and hopefully it will get the support that it rightly deserves. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers and listeners?
Please give us a chance. Give us a chance. We're not as bad as we look. The artwork is really, really good. Can't sort of believe still got that artwork, but I'll send you a separate message about how that artwork came to be. It's actually the same artist that done a couple of Sabaton releases. But again, we can't get local shows, but we're on the wavelength of kind of big artists who've worked for a couple of platinum
Yeah, we're
Sabaton bands.
in a bit of a weird,
We've got something
but
there.
yeah, I suppose my